Joining me now, I want to bring in Spear Investment founder, Chief Investment Officer, Ivana Delevska. Nice to see you. One of my favorites. So, Jensen Huang, Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk. I mean, this is the year. They're saying now, the humanoid robots, right? The year of physical robots powered by AI. I want to share with the audience. This is from Citi, folks. And these are the different sort of robots and just how quickly the growth is going to be. And this is how quickly they're going to be ingrained in your life. Like it or not, autonomous vehicles, that's going to grow by leaps and bounds, 17%. Domestic cleaning robots, some of you probably need that. I do, I'm not going to lie. Humanoids, drones, carrying robots like the guy needed on that spaceship, commercial cleaning robots, food, grocery delivery bots, food services bot. What do you make of this? I mean, is this accurate in your mind? Do you think it's going to come on this quickly?
I do, Charles, and actually out of this chart, I think the humanoid robots are the most interesting opportunity, as well as the autonomous vehicles. So if I had to zoom in on two categories, I think those would be the two. And Jensen highlighted during CES basically saying that humanoid robots, autonomous driving, and agentic is another category, which are robots that will work on your computer side by you. All three are going to be very important going forward.
I interviewed Sam Altman, and we talked a little bit about, at some point, regulations, right? I mean, our great fear is that the robots will hurt us, like that album cover. Where do you see regulations? Because you don't want to stop the growth of this, but we also want to make sure that humans are safe.
Well, that's a very interesting question. So for all three categories, there is different regulatory concerns. On one hand, you have agentic robots which work on your computer. Those, you don't need any regulation, and they're actually going to be very easy to implement because you can just install them and they'll work side by side with you. The humanoid robot, I think, was an interesting point that Jensen brought up, which is that they also work in our current infrastructure. So it's not like you need an extra lane to have a humanoid robot walk on. So that opportunity can also be very easily scalable.
Okay.
Autonomous vehicles are going to be the hardest because they will drive side by side with cars, right? So that's going to be a key.
But I gave my theory at the beginning of the show why that won't happen. But I don't know if you were in it. You might have been in the green room. I got a theory on why maybe then we won't be allowed to drive with them. Let me jump in here because I want to share your expertise on the investment side. Her work is some of the best out there. You recently upgraded this sort of schematic. I love it, right? Because it breaks it down. We hear AI and we just think one category, but you've got applications, and in that enterprise and consumer, you've got the infrastructure, cybersecurity, platforms, all of these different things. It's just really amazing. There's a big universe out there with this.
That's right, Charles. So there is an entire value chain. When you see an application, there is an entire value chain that's behind it that's making it possible. So at the bottom, there is the hardware opportunity, which is the NVIDIAs, the Marvells, the Broadcoms of the world. But then there is a whole data infrastructure layer with companies like Snowflake, and Cloudflare.
Almost all of these are publicly traded companies.
That's
so
right.
I want to bring up, just to share with the audience some of the names that you like right now. We're going to pull up in these respective areas some of the things you like. So inside the rack, NVIDIA, Marvell, Arista. Let's just ask, I want to ask you about Arista because that's relatively new, right? That kind of got hot amongst Wall Street, in the last couple of years.
That's right. So Arista is a player on the networking side. And we think networking is going to be one of the key areas that is going to drive improvement of performance of the chips. So how you're connecting the chips will be key in driving performance. You've
got Tesla in your applications now. That's Wall Street's got a love-hate relationship with it. Why do you like it?
Well, we really like it mainly because of the robotaxi opportunity. So I think the FSD side, which is autonomy as an application, is already priced in.
Right.
I think the EV opportunity is priced in, but the robotaxi, if it happens, that's going to be incremental to the value.
I saw a chart today from Morgan Stanley in the robot taxis. It's crazy. You're going to be taking a robot taxi in less than a year, maybe more sooner. I want to give a couple questions from the audience, right? First, let's go to Steve. Do we have a Steve? Kathy C. Hey, Kathy.
Hi. Are AI chip stocks still worth buying with the 1,000% increase already figured in?
AI chip stocks.
So depending on the opportunity, there is a different valuation framework. NVIDIA specifically is actually not very expensive on any sort of valuation metric, and that's because earnings have grown faster than even the stock price. So if we continue to see them deliver on earnings with the new introduction of the Blackwell chip, we think that the valuation is actually pretty attractive here.
I'm going to go to another question quick. I didn't hit the infrastructure thing. I kind of interrupted you there. My subscribers are in Snowflake right now. I love GitLabs. We're in that. We got hammered initially. Now we're making money. I'm looking at Shopify. Why is this the opportunity here?
So different ones have different value proposition. Zscaler is a player on the cybersecurity side.
Okay.
We think cybersecurity is going to be key going forward, and I don't think the way companies are set up right now is sustainable.
No one's ready
they
for
all
it.
need to change. Exactly. They all need
Yeah.
to change to the zero trust
Yeah.
architecture. Snowflake is a data platform company, so I think that's going to be critical. Cloudflare is kind of a new entrant, both on the cybersecurity side and the data infrastructure side.
Can we add a caveat, though? These can be volatile. Like Cloudflare, sometimes they miss, sometimes they beat. Let's go to Michael M. Michael M. from Connecticut. Hey, man, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good.
What does the future of investing in AI look like, and how will the use of AI change the way that we invest?
So on the future of investing in AI, I think the opportunity set is broadening just from processors to all the way across the value chain. So this year is the first year that we're starting to see promise on the application side. We talked about robotaxis and other applications that we're going to see, like quantum computing is another one that I know Charles often speaks about. But that's going to be on the investing side.
Ivana, what about do you use AI in your decision making right now for your investors?
Absolutely. So we use AI in two ways. One is on the research side, and this is not something that is really new. This has been around for 10 years. What's happening now is that it's becoming a lot cheaper. So you no longer have to pay thousands of dollars for tools. You can quickly build them out by using something like Perplexity AI or ChatGPT. So we use a lot of AI on the research side, and it's really just making the process a lot quicker and more efficient.
Let's bring in Joey A. Joey.
Hey, how are you? My question is about data centers and in the future. How important are those going to be, and what's the company that will be the leader in data centers?
Well, the build out of data centers is just becoming physical. So last investment cycle, like the Hopper infrastructure was going into existing data centers. Right now, what you're going to see is brand new data centers being built. So you're going to see benefits both on the processor side, the networking side that we talked about, but also on broader like power generation, power supply. So we're finding a lot of opportunities actually on the power generation side, just because that's such a critical component to making these data centers work.
Today, Scott Besson talked about this. He said, and when he did, Consolidate, CEG, Sparked, all of these names sparked. I think for a lot of folks, they feel like, because sometimes the hype comes before reality. Or should they be invested, in some utility names, some nuclear names right now? Because we know they need the power. It's just a matter of timing.
So some of these look very attractive on valuation basis. So CEG, the Constellation Energy is one of those where they operate the largest nuclear fleet in the United States. And now with the acquisition of Calpine, they're adding gas power to it as well. So they're really not expensive where the stock is trading today. And they're really coming of a 20-year down cycle that we've had really for energy in the U.S. So I'm pretty optimistic on that sector.
One thing he said to me a long time ago, I said, why does Wall Street so miss the boat on this? He said, they think in quarters where you think a lot longer. You've been killing it. Thank you so much, Ivana. Got to give her a hand. She's absolutely amazing. All right, folks. Also, I got to say, thank you very much. I love doing these town halls, and what's really amazing about it is people want to learn, right? And the independence of knowledge, is indispensable. We're in a knowledge century, if you will. This is where you can no longer walk into an auto dealer and some guy tries to glaze your eyes over with some numbers, right? Like, oh, it does this and it does that. You know the specific questions that you want to have answered. Same thing when you go to see a doctor. You know more specific questions that you want to answer. And what's crazy about this is that the arch of this is just going like this right now. It's going to go parabolic. Now, in some ways, it's going to leave a lot of people behind. I am truly concerned about sort of the gulf between losing jobs and those new jobs that are going to appear somewhere down the line. There will be some new amazing jobs. Again, I was happy to hear Scott Besson today talk about this, and I think it's going to be absolutely phenomenal. And we need to embrace it, but we also need to protect it. Another reason I'm really excited that President Trump was elected was this, what we were talking about here. It's a race. Who controls this stuff will control the world. And again, I know it's cold outside, and I want to thank you all for coming. You've been a fantastic audience. Thank you very, very much. And of course, Earlier this morning, I want to just share a story because I was in the elevator with a young man, and he was thrilled to see me, right? I never saw him before. And he told me that he just stepped up, that he just got involved in the stock market, and his excitement was infectious. You know, when I see young people, it really, really blows me away. His name is Steven. And that's what I'm excited like that. I don't sleep at night. People say, man, you need to sleep more. I can't. I'm excited. I can't wait to wake up. I love this, right? It's not just because the stock market's the greatest money-making machine in history. What I love is that everyone in this audience, everyone watching, can participate. No one can stop you from participating. For years, they tried to get you to settle for low gains, make 8%. Guess what? This week, these companies, these Wall Street firms, they're making 30%, right? So don't settle for less. It's all about knowledge. I've written 3 investing books. Unbreakable Investor is designed to help you folks. Get your free copy. Get it right now. Go to unbreakableinvestor.com.